Yo, what up, my people? It's the Radical Latino. What's poppin'? Now, I know I haven't done a video in a while. I've been, focused on my podcast. And if you guys want to go to my podcast, go check it out. You know what I'm saying? Link in the description down below. But I've been just, uploading my podcast here and there. You know what I'm saying? Every other week. But I haven't done a video. You know what I'm saying? I haven't really done a video on anything. And somebody actually, sent me a video. So this is going to be a little special. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a little special. So now I was sent this video by one of my, subscribers or whatever. So I ran through this guy's archive or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I just ran through it, started, seeing what it was. And this guy became like super popular because his DNA results. You know what I'm saying? Which isn't a big deal. You know what I'm saying? It isn't a big deal. Somebody doing the DNA results and he's gonna get a lot of it. It's not that big of a deal. But this is what he says on that video of his DNA results. So here, take a quick listen.
My test results came out that I'm 71% European. Out of that 71% is 51% Spanish from Spain, and then broadly Southern European. What else was there? And it's just a mixture of European DNA in that 71%. And then there was 7.7% Native American. It was 7.7% Native American. I actually thought it would be more, but it wasn't, and it's okay. All right. So, the Native American part, it showed underneath it said Dominican Republic. So straight from Dominican Republic. I already knew that, but anyway. And then it showed 15% Sub-Saharan African.
Okay, so y'all heard that, right? Now, there's nothing wrong with that. He's 15% Sub-Saharan African. There's nothing wrong with that. Shout out to you. You're learning your history and all that. But then he goes throughout the video and then says this.
All right. So now, I am not by any means one of these Dominicans from the Bronx that claim that they are Afro-Latino. A word on that. You're disrespecting your heritage. You really are. Saying that you're an Afro-Latino, it's disrespect to Latinos. What it means to be a Latino. Because we get most of our heritage from the Iberian Peninsula. Believe it or not, the term Latino came from there. There's no such thing as African Latino. The Spaniards, the Portuguese, the Italians, they're of Latin descent. They're of that European ethnic group. So I'm sorry, you guys were misled.
All right, so y'all heard that bullshit right there. It's very cringe-worthy because he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. First of all, that's not true. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting this up right now. That's not true. The word Latino came from us, Latin Americans, and the French. It was a combination. That's all it was. But what he's really trying to say is that our heritage is white. That's what he really is trying to say. You know what I'm saying? He's tired of making, he's trying to make the connection to Latin people and being Europeans. You know what I'm saying? In other words, Latin people are white. Regardless of your melanin, regardless of what it is, because he tries to use these little Fox News, Donald Trump, white supremacists code words by heritage and all this other bullshit. There's no what heritage? You know what I'm saying? Listen, Latin people, Latin folks, we have a very unique heritage. and it basically comes from Africa. Believe it or not, even if you want to deny it, this is true. It comes from Africa, and most of that African influence comes from the natives in these countries, if you want to believe it or not. But you know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? To him, he wants this shit to be white. You know what I'm saying? Look at this motherfucker. He wants to be, you know, he wants to be white all the way. You know what I mean? But all right. But this is something interesting I noticed. When it comes to people who are not white, or who have some white in them that they like to claim or whatever, they want to claim that white so much, they go up and beyond to be racist, to be vitriolic against black people. Now why? Why do some of these people want to be vitriolic against black people? Because that qualifies your whiteness. You feel what I'm saying? I seen it happen all the time with non-white people. Whenever they want to claim that they're white, the first thing that they do is they show their allegiance to whiteness by being vitriolic to black people. Just black folks. You know, they'll say, you know, go home, it's back to your land, you know, immigration rights this, immigration rights that, you know. But here's an example. You guys remember Treasure, the girl from Dr. Phil? Remember her? Well, she was pretending to be white, and listen to the bullshit that she was saying.
I'm in Beverly Hills right now. I'm seeing a lot of Caucasian people, and I haven't seen I've seen only a gaggle of African Americans, and they were really gross. I think that, of course, if an African American walked into any of these stores, I feel like people have the right to refuse service, and I feel like they would probably steal something, so of course they should be asked to leave, most definitely. Well, those were my fellow Caucasian people. They were so beautiful and pretty. I assumed they were models, so I had to say, you know, tell them they were beautiful.
All right, enough of that bullshit. But people like this exist. Why you think the Boondocks, they made this dude named Ruckus, Uncle Ruckus? You know, there's people out here that actually exist like this.
What you want? I want you over my house cutting my grass like you supposed to be.
Well, too bad for you, cause I just took another job. And even though they don't pay hardly nothing, working for white folks look way better on my resume.
Damn it, this is the 4th week in a row you cancel on me. The yard looks like a jungle.
Well, Tim, you 3 vine swingers should feel right at home.
So that's a very comedic take that they're taking on type of people like this. But best believe, type of people like this exist. Look at this piece of shit right here. You know, this dude claims up and down that he's white because of his skin color. Oh, look, I got light eyes. Hey, yo, my man, newsflash, you're just a product of rape. That's all it is. You're proof that your ancestors were raped by the Spaniards. That's all it is. So you claiming this whole white shit, but listen, I'm going off in a tangent or whatever the case is. I'm here to break down most of this pieces of shit, his ideology, because people like this need to be called out. You feel what I'm saying? So he goes and further goes on and says that European people are not the fault for why most African countries are the way they are. This is what he says.
I'm going to be very honest with you right now. There is no predominantly black country in the world that you want to be like, that you would want to live in. I'm just telling you the truth. You know, I mean, and it's for a reason. It's not because of evil doers from Europe. I'm sorry. You know, I mean...
Okay, so white folks aren't to blame. And don't get me wrong, I agree with him. All white folks aren't to blame. It's not like a book from a white man, like I'm putting up right now, Confessions of an Economic Hitman, doesn't exist, where he goes on details how Western powers influence third world countries like DR. Yeah. Believe it or not, DR is a third world country. And this is coming from a Dominican myself, so this ain't no Dominican slander. You feel what I'm saying? I've been to DR many a time, plenty of times. And best believe, once you go out of those resorts, people are living in fucking concrete sheds. So miss me with all that bullshit, all right? So white folks are not to blame, but there's books out here saying that Western power, which are white people, white supremacists, that's what I call white supremacists, you know what I'm saying? White supremacists, how are the people to blame why these people are how they are, you know what I'm saying? Why Haiti though is the way it is. Historically, they've been economically decimated. This is historically. But he wants to go and basically blame, it's black folks. It's a majority African nation. It's a majority African country. Why can't y'all motherfuckers get it together? It's not like 10 people haven't died in DR. You know what I'm saying? But what have white people done to help out DR besides resorts, casinos, and beaches? You know what I'm saying? Come on, let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. And that book goes on and breaks down everything that I'm talking about. But he doesn't seem to mention that for some reason. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he's on these white supremacist websites like Stormfront too much. Maybe he's listening to Fox News too much. I don't know. But ask him why you think this is. You know what I'm saying? But people watching this video, ask him why you think this is. But America, the majority of Latin people have this confusion in America about race. Okay? They have a huge confusion about race. They made it that way to keep us confused, to align us more with white people. But he tells us that that's him. You know what I'm saying? That's himself. Look at him. He's over here telling us, yo, I have 77%, European and everything else non-white, but the majority is European. Yeah, okay. Best believe real white people are not gonna accept you, homie. 100%. But don't take it from me. Take it from him. He said it himself.
Yeah. But what is your experience growing up between those two groups?
I remember it was a bit confusion. I remember blacks and Latinos, basically similar to what you said.
Yeah.
We had our own cliques, and if we, in school we were pretty separate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even the Hispanics that behaved like the blacks, they stuck to themselves.
So there you go. It was confusion. How come there's different cliques? How come some Latin people are with black folks, and how come some Latin people are amongst themselves? There was confusion and all this other stuff. But I also blame his parents. Because this racist ideology did not just come about on his own, okay? It just did not come out of nowhere. His parents, when they came to this country, they already had negative images and negative ideologies of black folks like Haitians. You feel what I'm saying? They already had that, so they instilled that in this little motherfucker, thinking that he's white. Oh, because he got some light eyes. You know what I'm saying? Oh shit. Everybody with light eyes, watch out. You know what I mean? So I blame them. That's who I blame. I blame them. I blame his parents. Why do I blame them? Now, check this out.
I haven't done it, and I know exactly what my roots are, but what were the results and what percentages did you get from the races and whatnot? Could you refresh me on that and let me know, or let the people know exactly what was it that you got?
Yeah. My results were I am predominantly European descent, 71%.
Which I could tell obviously by the way your complexion is and whatnot, and the color of your eyes, super hazel eyes. But go ahead.
And I always knew this. Like it wasn't even a surprise to me. I just knew this, and so predominantly European descent, 71%, and then of course next was 15% sub-Saharan African.
Sub-Saharan, okay.
15%, it's not really a significant amount, you know what I mean?
So, there you guys heard it. 15%, like he brushed past that, like, when them white girls date black guys And it was such a long time ago when people be like, yo, you ever dated a black guy? Yeah, I did it a long time ago. Don't worry about it. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? He just brushed past that. Yeah, I'm 75% European and 50% Sub-Saharan Africa. But it's not, it is what it is. Don't worry about it. It is what it is. Boy, I'm telling you, most of these Dominicans want to run away from that black side. Jesus Christ. They can have nappy ass fucking hair, big ass noses, curly this, curly that. No, it's not significant. It's not significant. Don't worry about it. It's not significant. Forget it. You know what I'm saying? Jesus Christ. But see, he always knew. It wasn't a surprise. You heard that shit, right? Wasn't a surprise to me. I always knew this shit. And they were having an interview in the street and all that other shit, right? But it wasn't a surprise to me. I always knew this shit because his parents instilled that racist bullshit in his head. That's what it was. Mira, mijo, nosotros somos diferentes de esos morenos. Mira, cocolo. Míralo allá. You know what I'm saying? But bet you when he goes to Spain, trying to be amongst his quote-unquote people, you know what I'm saying? Talking with a lisp, like, hi, espita, you know what I'm saying? He comes out of nowhere speaking that Dominican shit. ¿Qué lo que es, amigo? Mira, monstruo, ¿cómo está todo? They're gonna look at him as an other. Like, listen, you know our language because our ancestors forced it upon y'all people, but you're not quite one of us, homie. Now get your light, high yellow, red bone ass the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna get a real wake-up call, but it's alright. But something else that's interesting. He goes on in another video. He breaks down the ideology and the significance of the DR flag.
I think that's very important. We are a Christian nation, a Christian Catholic nation. I mean, just look at the flag. All right, look at the flag. It has very hard, blatant Christian Catholic symbolism on it. And if we allow these people to continue to attack this group, you have to understand that aspect, that Christianity is not going to last. Look at what they do to Christians in Africa. You know, should we expect anything different from a purely African group that is right next to us, that practices voodoo?
So he talked about voodoo and Christian. Listen, first of all, the main reason why DR has those Catholic symbolism here, let me school you because you want to be white so bad because you don't want to know facts, but I'm here to teach. So sit down and stop acting out. All right, so check this out. The reason why Dominican Republic has Christian symbolisms inside the flag is because they were colonized as such. Okay, they were colonized by the Spaniards and the French. They were colonized and they forced that religion upon us. If it wasn't for the Haitians, the ones that you talk about practicing voodoo, if it wasn't for the Haitians in 1804, Dominican Republic wouldn't be as free as it is. Apparently you think it's free, but anyway, it wouldn't be as free as it is. But guess what? When the Haitians actually won their independence, Dominicans decided to recolonize themselves. And as you can see from this guy, you can see it wasn't that hard just by his ideologies. You feel what I'm saying? But the original Dominican flag is this, a Haitian flag from independence. This is the original Dominican flag, but he likes to look at this one with Christian symbolisms and all this other crazy shit. Alright, so let's tackle that voodoo thing also. Voodoo is a very popular misconception that is bad. That's because our white slave masters told us as such. Voodoo or Santeria in Spanish, you know what I'm saying? In Spanish as it is, voodoo and Santeria is the same thing. Comes from Africa. It's a spiritual system. That's all it is. It's nothing bad, has nothing to do with the devil. The reason why a lot of Christians believe that is because we're it's the European mindset. We've been Europeanized. A lot of Latin people, blacks and Latins are the most religious people out here. You feel what I'm saying? The most religious people out here. And the reason why we believe everything that comes from Africa is bad is because that's something that we were taught. That's something that it was beaten. Everything that comes from you is bad. It's no good. Your heritage is no good. Your language is no good. That's why we had to give you guys Spanish. It's not an original, original language. So he talks about heritage so much, but yet he doesn't want to talk about the original language of DR that the Tainos used to talk among themselves. You feel what I'm saying? He wants to talk about heritage so much, but he doesn't know that voodoo is part of his heritage. Because Dominican Republic is basically a diaspora of African people, natives and Africans. Believe it or not, Europeans came in and started raping everybody. That's why your light ass is out here claiming that you're white, but yet you're 22.7% non-white. But all right, it's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? But now let's tackle the whole white thing, because I've been just giving little jabs out there. You know what I'm saying? Let's tackle the whole white thing. Now look at him. Yeah, he has a stupid face. Everybody named Antonio, for some reason, they have a very punchable face. I don't know why, but that he was born like that. Excuse him. But phenotypically, look at him. Phenotypically, he doesn't look white whatsoever. Besides his skin color, his DNA proves it. His DNA proves his ancestors was white. Now, these are some real white people. Look at the difference. He's not white. These are real white people, and this is him. Oh, look at that. Some real white people walked past him in this interview. I don't know. He looks a little darker than they are. But in America, there's this one drop rule. Yeah, if you guys don't know what the one drop rule is, here it goes. I think he's not gonna like this, but the one drop rule is a social and legal principle of racial classification that was historically prominent in the United States in the 20th century. Blah, blah, blah. If a person has one ancestor of sub-Saharan African ancestry, one drop rule of black blood, you're considered black. You are considered black. This motherfucker has 22.7 non-white. Based on the one drop rule, he's not white. But him and all these other Latinos who don't want to claim that they're non-white, that don't want to claim the other side, which because they're majority dark or just light skinned like this motherfucker right here, you know what I'm saying? That don't want to, it's alright. They could stay over there. They already chose that side. You cannot choose Latin and white. You can't do that. Because you're choosing a superior on paper, just on paper, a superior race, which is white, because they're part of the dominant society, and then choose a minority ethnicity that's not part of the dominant society. You can't flip-flop. That's fence sitting. You already chose that you want to be white. Mind you, he already said it. I always knew this shit. So it wasn't a surprise. You feel what I'm saying? He already knew this. So it shouldn't be a surprise. You feel what I'm saying? But then again, it is what it is. He's not, to me, he ain't Latino. He's white. You know what I'm saying? And this dude lives in New York City and Washington Heights, I believe. You know what I'm saying? In the most Dominican place ever. You know, up the hill, you'll have Jewish people, but best believe he won't be moving in there. Up from Tryon Park. Yeah, I know your area, bro. I'm around there all the time. Mama Sushi was popping. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, To me, people like these are Latin coons. We gotta get away from these people. They're Latin coons. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'ma catch you guys later. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And remember, hit me up on Instagram and Twitter at the same name, alright? Radical_Latino_. Peace.